Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Deborah Leong, and today we're going to be doing a nice gentle Hatha yoga practice and begin to explore the pose Vasisthasana, or side plank. I'll be showing variations, and for people who have any issues with your wrists, there will be some variations available to you. So I hope that you'll join me. Feel free to grab a blanket or a block. If you have 2 blocks, that would be wonderful. It's not necessary, but if you have them available, they may be helpful. Okay? So we're going to come to a comfortable seated position. If you'd rather sit in a chair, that's fine. So having the hips elevated if you are in a seated position, having the hips raised and elevated enough to allow the knees to relax down a little bit. Otherwise, again, a chair is fine. And taking the hands onto the knees, palms down, the eyes gently closed. And just find your nice, soft breath. If you know Ujjayi, please feel free to take the ocean-sounding breath called Ujjayi. And just take a few moments here to ground, to connect, to feel the ground beneath you. Feel where your sit bones are making contact with either the chair, floor, or whatever you're sitting on. And as the sit bones ground down, allow the spine to rise, to grow tall and lengthen. And then gently opening the eyes, bringing the arms down by the sides, keeping that nice long spine. Inhale as we sweep the arms out and up. Exhale as we lower. Inhale as we raise the arms. Nice big sun breaths. Exhale as we lower. Inhale as we rise up. Exhale as we lower. Inhale, the arms rise up, reach out and up, get big. Exhale as you lower. Then taking the hands onto the knees. Inhale as we tilt the pelvis forward and arching the spine. And exhale as we round. Inhale as we arch. Exhale as we round. One more inhale as we arch. And exhale, rounding. Then inhale, coming to a neutral spine. Taking the legs out in front of you. Just stretching them out for a moment. Wiggle the toes. And then we're going to make some circles with the ankles. Slow enough that you can really feel what's happening, not rushing. And then going the other way, please. And then releasing. If you're on a block or a blanket, then please put that to the side. We're going to come onto our hands and knees. Hands shoulder width, knees hips width. And then again, we're going to cat-cow. Inhale as we lift the sit bones, arching the spine. And exhale as we curl the tailbone under and round. Inhale as we arch. Exhale as we round. Inhale as we arch. Exhale as we round. One more. Inhale as we arch. And exhale as we round. Inhale, coming to a neutral spine. We're going to take the right leg back, but the foot's still on the floor. Just curl the toes under. And before we come into the next pose called bird dog pose, try to find stability. Draw the abdominals in a little bit. Engage some core muscles to stabilize the pelvis so that you're keeping the pelvis level. Now with the hands, you're going to press the hands down, and at the same time try to feel like you're lifting up out of your shoulders. You're not dumping into the shoulders, you're actually pressing down and then lift up out of the shoulders a little bit. We'll be using that same action later when we do the side plank Vasisthasana. And then inhale, raising the right leg, pressing out through the heel, trying to keep the hips level. If you like to raise the left arm as well, feel free. Otherwise, you can keep both hands on the floor, pressing. And then exhale, we're going to take the right knee forward between the hands. Bring the foot between the hands. We're going to come into a gentle low lunge. If you like, you could use blocks. Otherwise, you can have the hands on the floor, but blocks might make it a little bit more comfortable for you. So that's a variation if you like. I'm just getting a little bit of a stretch in the front of that left hip. Nice smooth breath. Often you'll hear me say, inhale, do this, exhale, do that. That really just means your next inhale or your next exhale. Please don't hold the breath, and just know that when I say inhale or exhale, I mean the next inhale or the next exhale. Again, maintaining that ocean sounding breath of Ujjayi if that's familiar to you. If not, just breathe smoothly. And then we're going to exhale and bring the hips back as we fold over the right leg. You can flex that foot if you like. Now, if you tend to round in the low back, if your hamstrings are tight, very common. If that's the case for you, just soften that right knee a little bit and then tilt the pelvis forward and reach your heart forward. So you're leading with the heart, not with your chin or the head, but instead with your heart. And then on your next exhale, we're going to bend that right knee again. If you like, if it's comfortable enough for your knee, you can raise the arms as well and breathe. So I'm lifting the front of the pelvis a bit here to get a nice stretch in the front of that left hip. And then exhale, lowering the hands back down to the blocks or floor, and then lifting the back knee. So the top of the left thigh is lifted. It's active as I press back through that left heel. So even here with your hands either on the floor or on the blocks, press down into the hands and at the same time lift up out of the shoulders. So you're not dumping into the shoulders. You're feeling supported and lifted. Feel the whole front body lift as you do that. And then exhale, I'm going to lower that left knee back down. If you're using blocks, you can just put them down to the sides and take the right foot back. And then coming into child's pose. With the arms stretched out in front of you. So you're going to press the fingertips into the floor a little bit, and at the same time lift the upper arm away from the floor a little. And reaching the hips back. So it's a little bit active. We're not just relaxing here completely. We're actually a little bit active here. And then on your next inhale, come forward to hands and knees. And then taking the left foot back. Press down into both hands, lift up out of the shoulder, draw the lower belly in, draw the lower ribs in. And you might find it hard to breathe. Try to breathe more into the back and side body so you can still feel like you can breathe. Keeping the pelvis stable. And then raising the left leg, pressing out through the heel. You'll notice the weight is probably more on your left hand than your right. That's okay. If you like, you can shift the weight a little bit more onto that left hand and raise the right arm. Otherwise, keep both hands down. Keep pressing down, lifting up out of the shoulder. And then exhale, we're going to take the left foot forward between the hands. Lifting the blocks if you're using them. Gently bringing the hips forward. Feel the front of the pelvis lift a little bit so you feel a nice stretch in the front of that right hip. And again, with the hands, instead of dumping into the shoulders, press down into the hands wherever they are and lift up out of the shoulders. And as you create that action, see if you can feel almost like there's a lift in the whole front body as you do that. It might be a little bit subtle. You might not feel that yet. That's okay. Just press down and lift up out of the shoulders to the best of your ability. And then as we exhale, we're going to bring the hips back, folding forward. Again, if your hamstrings are tight, that's quite all right. Love them anyway. Okay, soften the knee if you need to, so you can tilt the pelvis forward and reach with your heart instead of the chin or the head and the mind. Lead with your heart. So the spine is nice and long and we're not rounding in the low back. Over time, that leg will straighten. Be patient. And then inhale as we gently come forward. Again, I'm going to lift the front of the pelvis, draw the lower belly in, and then if you like, you can raise the arms. If you'd rather keep your hands on the floor or the blocks, that's fine. And then exhale, taking the hands to the floor or blocks and lifting the back knee. Top of the right thigh lifts as I press back to the heel. Press down into the hands, lift up out of the shoulders. And then exhale, lower the right knee. Put the blocks down if you're using them. And then take the left foot back. This time we're going to come into downward facing dog. If you'd rather do child's pose, that's okay. Otherwise, we're going to just bring the hips up and back. And breathe. Same action here as you press down into the hands, lift up out of the shoulders as you reach your pelvis up and back as far as you can. And again, if the hamstrings are tight, you can soften your knees a little bit and create a little bit of a forward tilt in the pelvis. Let your sit bones lift up and back. And then we're going to slowly step the feet forward, coming to a standing forward fold with the feet hips width apart, please. And then bending the knees, taking the hands to the thighs, and just gently, slowly, take your time coming up to standing. Taking the hands in front of the heart. Inhale, we're going to sweep the arms out and up. Exhale as we fold forward. Feel free to bend the knees here if you like. Inhaling as we come halfway up. Exhale as we fold and step the right foot back to a high lunge so that back knee is lifted. And then exhale, we're going to take the left foot back to a plank position. Come onto the knees if you like. And then on your next exhale, we're going to lower the thighs, the hips, the belly, all the way down. Roll the shoulders open. Inhale, cobra, reaching the heart forward. Breathe. Exhale as we lower back down. Press back the hands and knees, and then downward dog. On your next inhale, we're going to bend it, bring the knees down. Take the right foot forward. And on your next inhale, lift the back knee. And then on your next inhale, we're going to step the left foot forward, coming halfway up. Exhale as we fold. Inhale as we come up to standing, raising the arms out and up. Exhale, lower the hands out to the sides and then down, bringing them back in front of the heart, the Anjali Mudra. On your next inhale, raise the arms out and up. Exhale as we fold forward. Inhale as we come halfway up. Exhale, fold, stepping your left foot back. On your next exhale, we're going to step the right foot back, coming into a plank position. Lower the knees if you like. And then on your next exhale, we're going to lower the thighs, hips, the belly, come all the way down. Roll the shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, cobra, reaching the heart forward. And then exhale as we lower back down. Press back the hands and knees, and then downward facing dog. And then exhale, come on down to the knees. Taking the left foot forward. And then on your next inhale, raise the right knee. On your next inhale, step your right foot forward, feet hips width, come halfway up, hands on shins. Exhale, fold. Inhale, coming up, raise the arms out to the sides and up. And then exhale, out to the sides and then down, and then bring them back in front of the heart. Okay, so now we're going to do a nice gentle side stretch. Taking the right arm by your side, raise the left arm, grow tall, reach up, exhale, let the left hip go out to the left a little bit as you gently stretch over to the right. And inhale as we come back up, exhale, release that arm, inhale, raise the right arm. Grow tall, reach up, exhale, right hip might go to the right a bit as you gently side stretch over to the left. Inhale as we come back up. Exhale, release that arm. Taking the hands to the low back. We're going to gently bring the hips forward a little bit. And then take a moment to lift the rib cage up out of the pelvis to the best of your ability. Roll the shoulder blades down the back and then reach your heart towards the ceiling. So the legs are strong and active. I'm pressing into the feet. The hips come forward a bit, but I don't want to dump in the low back. I want to keep lifting up. And then on your next inhale, press your feet down and towards one another to help you come up. Okay? And then exhale, you can tilt the pelvis forward, soften the knees, and fold. Taking the hands to the shins or ankles. And then bending the knees if they're not already bent. Take the hands to the thighs and come up to standing. And then we're going to face sideways on the mat. I'm going to come into tree pose, Rakshasana. So I'm going to shift the weight of the hips over to the left a little bit. Keep them even in height though. Notice if one hip is higher than the other. Then we're going to externally rotate that right leg, either taking the foot to the ankle, the calf, or the upper thigh. Be patient with this. It might take some time. Then taking the hands in front of the heart. If you feel pretty balanced here, you can also raise the arms and breathe. And then exhale as we lower the hands, releasing the leg, shaking out the feet if you like, and changing sides. We're going to shift the weight of the hips over to the right a bit, keeping them even in height. Rotate the left hip open, keeping the right thigh facing forward, either keeping the foot on the floor here, but keep the hips even in height. Again, sometimes when we rotate out, that left hip kind of drops down. So just try to keep or hikes up, but more often drops down. So try to keep the hips even in height. And then if you like, you can either keep your foot on the floor, on the calf, or the upper thigh. Your choice. Taking the hands in front of the heart and breathe. Find a focal point for your eyes somewhere in front of you to help you. Keeping your point of reference, helping you with balance. But try not to stare at it or glare at it with a hard eye. The eyes are a little bit soft. And if you like, raising the arms. And breathe. And Exhale, releasing the hands back down, releasing the legs and shaking out the feet. Okay. Okay, so we're going to take our feet nice and wide. Rotate the left foot in a little bit, toes in, the right foot out 90 degrees, so the toes point towards the back of the mat. Bending the right knee, and even here, we want to keep the hips even in height. If you like, raising the arms and gazing towards the right hand for warrior two. And breathe. Just make sure your right knee is tracking in line with the toes and not dropping in. However, if that doesn't work, if there's discomfort in your knee, make sure the knee joint is comfortable. That's most important. And just make sure the right knee isn't going beyond the ankle. If it is, back away a little bit. Exhale, lower the hands. Inhale, straightening that front leg, rotating the right toes in a little bit, the left toes out, so the toes point towards the front of your mat. And then we're going to gently bend the left knee, keeping the hips even in height. Make sure the left knee doesn't go beyond the ankle. And then raising the arms, gazing towards the left hand. And breathe. And then we're going to exhale, lowering the hands. Inhale, straightening the front leg, taking the toes to face forward. And then heel toe your feet one time, heels in, toes in, so the stance is a little bit narrower than warrior two. Okay, we're going to rotate the left foot in 45-degree angle, and then the right foot is going to rotate out 90 degrees, just like before. But this time the leg is going to be straight. I'm going to draw the right hip back and taking the right hand to the shin and raising the left arm for triangle. Gazing in a spot that's comfortable for your neck. So if it's comfortable for your neck to look forward, feel free to do that. Some people even like to look down. Otherwise, if it's comfortable for your neck, you can gently look up towards the left hand. Both legs strong and straight. And if you're not able to bring the hand all the way down, you can have it up higher. You can even have it, if you have it above the knee though, bend the knee a little bit. Okay, so you're not putting pressure on the knee. Ideally, you want the hand below the knee. And then inhale as we come back up. Exhale, release the arms, rotate the right foot in. So the toes are pointing at a 45-degree angle. Left leg rotates out, toes point towards the front of the mat just like before. Both legs straight. Drawing that left hip back, taking the left hand to the shin. And even here, press down into the shin and lift up out of the shoulder. Same action as we did before in the beginning. Raising the arm, the right arm. Either looking forward, or if it's comfortable for your neck, you can look up. And breathe. On your next inhale, coming back up. Exhale, release the arms, taking the toes to face forward. So the outer edges of the feet are parallel. We're going to take the hands to the hips, to the pelvis, to the sides of the hip joint. Soften the knees a little bit, and then on your next inhale, you're going to tilt the pelvis forward as you fold. You can keep the knees a little soft here if you like. Taking the hands to the floor, shoulder width apart, fingers face forward. Elbows point straight back. Notice if your shoulders are coming up towards the ears. If so, soften the shoulder blades down the back towards the waist. Over time, we're going to straighten the legs, but if they're not straight, that's okay. Just want to feel a nice stretch in the back of the leg. It's not important whether the knee is straight or bent. But you do want to work towards straightening it, so you're not just bending the knees and dumping your weight as if you're trying to sit down, but instead as you press your feet into the floor, even if the knees are bent, try to feel like you're lifting your pelvis up towards the ceiling. And then inhale, coming halfway up, long arms, long spine, Exhale. If the knees aren't bent still, go ahead and bend them again. Taking the hands to the thighs and slowly come up. And then stepping to the front edge of your mat. Okay. So I'm going to put the blocks to the side. Inhale, taking the hands in front of the heart. On your next inhale, raise the arms out and up. Exhale as we fold forward. Inhale as we come halfway up. And then exhale as we fold, stepping the feet back to a downward facing dog. On your next inhale, shift your weight forward for a plank position and then lower your knees. Point the toes. We're just going to gently bring the hips forward. And again, as we press down into the hands, lift up out of the shoulders. So we're doing a nice gentle upward facing dog here. Try to bring a nice little back bend into your mid and upper back. And then exhale as we press back to hands and knees and child's pose. And then come up to sit on the heels. Okay, so now we're going to take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, and just gently roll the shoulders open and lengthen through the arms. And then exhale as we release the hands. And taking your right hand so that your palm faces up, tuck your elbow into your side a little bit. Okay, we're just going to gently take the fingers and gently stretch it back. Okay, so I say gently because it's not comfortable for everybody's wrists. Don't want to be forceful here. But I'm going to press my elbow kind of into me a little bit, into my side, as I gently bring the fingers back. And then exhale as we release. Other side. So I'm going to tuck my elbow into my side here. And then I'm going to flex the flex the hand, palm facing up, and then just gently stretch the wrist. And then exhale, release. Now making fists. Turn your palms to face down with your arms out in front of you. Then you're going to flex the wrist so that you're pointing your knuckles down. And then we're just going to bring the arms. Now it looks a little goofy, but it's actually a nice stretch for the forearms. Okay. And then exhale as we release. Okay. Then we're going to come into a preparation for Vasisthasana. So from hands and knees, again, we want to press down into the hands and lift up out of the shoulder. Then we're going to take the left foot back behind us, similar to what we did in the beginning. But then we're going to rotate the left leg out so that the heel comes down onto the floor. Now, the right foot can work like a kickstand. If it's pointing straight back, it might be a little harder to balance here on one hand. So if you need a little bit more help for your balance, then you could take your right foot out to the side a little bit as kind of a kickstand. Okay. Otherwise, I'm going to press down into the right hand. I should mention also that the right hand should be slightly forward of the shoulder. Okay, so not right under it, but just slightly forward. And then as I press into the hand, I'm going to lift up out of that shoulder as I rotate open and try to raise the left arm. Keep pressing down into the hand and at the same time draw the shoulder blade down the back towards the waist a bit and lift up. Even creating a little bit of an arc here. So this pose, Vasisthasana, or variation of Vasisthasana, side plank, it helps to strengthen the shoulder and the side body. And then exhale back down. And then we're going to change sides. So we're going to bring the right foot back. And then we're going to rotate so the heel comes down. The left foot can either be straight back or you can kick it out to the side a little bit as a kickstand. Okay? My left hand is going to come slightly forward of the shoulder. As I press down into the left hand, lift up out of the shoulder, and then begin to rotate open. See if you can keep pressing down into the hand and lifting up out of the shoulder. If your shoulder's up by your ear, that probably means you're dumping into it. So as soon as you lift up, you usually stop dumping into the shoulder. So we're really strengthening the shoulder in this position, and then raising the right arm, and breathe. If you like to look up, it might be a little challenging, but if you like to look up, feel free. And then exhale as we release. Okay. Then you can just sit back on the heels. You can shake out the wrists if you like. Then we're going to take the right arm over the left and just give yourself a nice hug. If you like eagle arms, Garudasana, feel free to take that. Otherwise, just hug yourself. Okay? And then exhale as we release. Inhale, raise the arms out to the sides. And then exhale, sweep the left arm over the right. Either hug or Garudasana, eagle arms. And then exhale as we release. Okay. And come onto our backs. With the knees bent and the feet hips width apart, please. Arms down by the sides, and we're going to roll the shoulders open so that the palms face up. And then on your next inhale, we're going to lift the pelvis, beginning from the tailbone. So the tailbone's going to lift, then the sacrum, then the low back, then the mid and upper back, almost like a wave rising up. And then you can draw your shoulder blades towards one another underneath you, or if it feels comfortable to do so, you can interlace the fingers or hold a strap between your hands, and then draw the shoulder blades even closer. Breathing. So the tops of the thighs are pointing straight up. If you find that your knees are going out to the sides, just try to draw your legs towards one another a bit, and then maybe feel like you're drawing the inner thigh towards the floor so that the top of your thigh points straight up. And then exhale, releasing the hands if you've clasped, and then slowly coming back down. Take your time. Taking the feet together, let the knees go out to the sides. For reclined bound angle, you can either have your hands on your belly, or if you like, you can raise the arms up and back, whatever's comfortable for your shoulder. And then exhale, we're going to bring the knees back together, releasing the arms back down. We're going to do a nice gentle spinal rotation. So we're going to straighten the left leg with the foot on the leg on the floor. And then we're going to rotate onto the outer edge of the left hip and take the right knee across. Left hand to the outside of the right knee, right hand out to your side, and breathe. You can just look straight up if that's most comfortable for your neck. If you like to look towards the right, feel free, but just not forcing the neck here, okay? So just whatever's comfortable for your neck. Looking up is straight, looking straight up is just fine. And then inhale, bring the right knee back up to center. We're going to change sides, so we're going to shift the weight of the pelvis so we have a nice neutral pelvis, neutral spine before we begin. And then we're going to straighten the right leg with the foot on the floor. And then we're going to swing the hips, lift them up a little bit and swing them over to the left so you can come down onto the outer right hip. Bringing the left knee in and then across. Right hand to the outside of the left knee, Left arm out to the left. And then inhale, bring the left knee back to center. And then exhale, taking both feet to the floor, adjusting the hips. So you have a nice neutral spine. Arms down by the sides. And straightening the legs with the feet a little bit more than hips width apart. As you take rest here, closing the eyes. Let go of any effort in the breath. If you'd like to put a blanket over you, take a moment to do that. And then gently begin to wiggle the fingers and toes. Maybe deepening the breath a little bit. And on your next inhale, giving yourself a nice stretch. Make yourself as long as you can. And then exhale as we release. Drawing the knees in, giving them a gentle hug. Maybe swaying side to side to massage the low back. And then coming onto your right side and resting here for a moment. And then coming up to a seated position. The hands in front of the heart. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be blessed with good health. May you have ease of well-being. May you have peace and happiness that is unbound by circumstance. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.